Hello and welcome to our Manager's Toolkit, which explores unhelpful management mindsets. Being a manager can be a confusing mix of excitement and trepidation. Great, you think. I must be good to have become a manager, and I've got so many ideas. Or, help, I don't know what I'm doing. If these emotions aren't properly addressed and dealt with, they can have a huge impact and will often negatively impact on our behaviour. The way we feel does, of course, connect with the way we behave as a manager. However, we do need to ensure we keep ourselves in check. We might fluctuate, for example, between thinking about the most helpful behaviours that will get the best out of ourselves and the people we manage, and then combine it with negative thinking about our team or ourselves. The result of these mixed feelings, if left unchecked, is that they can lead to common management mishaps. And these are the unhelpful mindsets which can create problems for you and your team. Let's take a look. Firstly, the moaner. This manager is always complaining about being a manager. Being a manager isn't easy, and management responsibilities can be overwhelming. Also, being a manager means being responsible for the work, yourself, and the team. There always seems to be a stream of questions and requests for help to solve problems, with you as the manager expected to make decisions just like that. This manager then, the moaner, is therefore struggling and perceives all of these other responsibilities as stopping them from getting on with their own real work. This frustration is articulated in no uncertain terms with phrases such as, "But you don't understand," or "I am under so much pressure," or "I have so much work to do." The result is a team who feels anxious about disturbing their manager and then resentful that the manager isn't available to help. They may even doubt the manager's competence. At worst, the team will end up making their own decisions about things they really shouldn't. The truth is, this type of manager could be feeling out of their depth and worried about their progress. Or it may be that they really enjoy the work more than their management responsibilities. Our recommendations to the moaner would be to take a pause to review your priorities. Learn from your own manager or your peers about how they deal with interruptions, and lean on them to voice your frustrations. No one is saying as a manager you can't feel frustrated, but learn to handle that and to talk about your feelings without venting them or spilling them onto others. Be the voice of reason for your team. Now let's look at the oblivious one. This manager talks in an overly direct way and may not appreciate the experience of others. They might say things like, "In my experience, the best way to do this is to follow an XYZ process," or "The way I do things is like this, you should do the same," or even "My advice is this, and you'd be wise to follow suit." The intentions here of the manager are usually good. They're genuinely keen to spread their wisdom and experience. However, this manager may not appreciate that not everyone has the same context, experience, needs, or circumstances. This can cause them to overwhelm the unique situation each person is in, which means their advice may not be welcomed or even appropriate. This can cause others to shut down or to hold back. It's also an approach which may not be very inclusive. We all have biases and can be prone to making assumptions about other people. So, as a manager, it's really important that we take time to understand the needs of others and how they are experiencing their work. It may be very different to our own experience. It's great to share insights, but ask open questions first to make sure you know where the other person is coming from. So, our advice to the oblivious manager would be to try saying these things instead. "In my experience, this happens. What has your experience been?" Or, "The way I'll approach this is like this. What might work for you?" Or, "My preference is to work like this. What about you?" Using questions like this can open up new ideas and enable more diverse thinking. Recognise the value in having different perspectives in the team and ask for others to share their ideas and insights. Next up, we have the best bud. This manager has identified a best friend and in singling them out holds secret chats about special projects. They might say things like, "Alex, you're the only one I can trust," or "Alex and I are just going out for a chat to discuss some things," or "When I'm not here, Alex is in charge." We see this happen a lot when a manager is stepping up within an internal team where they already have strong relationships. And while this can form a strong personal connection and contribute towards a great working relationship, it can also come from a tricky place of feeling guilty. Perhaps Alex wanted to be the manager too. The best bud manager may feel they've gained something substantial, but might also feel they've lost close connections as a result of their promotion. Of course, they might be able to do more for Alex and may even wish to provide development opportunities for Alex. And when the best bud manager is feeling anxious about getting things right, who better than to rely on the person they trust the most, i.e. Alex? But while this may be great for Alex, it's not for everyone else. A sea of resentment can build up towards the manager and poor Alex as well. So to avoid this behaviour, we recommend sharing out the responsibilities and opportunities more widely than just Alex. Give everyone in the team a project to lead and rotate who is in charge when needed. Don't just rely on one person. Make sure you nurture all the relationships within your team. Also acknowledge that a move into management may mean developing new connections and changing friendships. The relationships you have within your team can still be strong and rewarding, they just need to have a different set of boundaries and expectations. Our next manager is the chosen one. This manager displays the attitude of, "I am the manager, so I know best." Typical phrases you might hear are, "It's my way or the highway," or "Do it because I said so," or "Do it because I'm the manager," or even "Don't question my authority." It's a one-way conversation with no input allowed from the team. It shuts down creativity and it diminishes trust. And whilst this may appear arrogant, this type of behaviour may not be what it appears to be. It can come from both positive and negative emotions. It may well be that as a manager, this person is very clear on their vision, their ideas for the work, and is excited to get things going. Or it may be this response is driven by fear and uncertainty. Their perception being that as a manager, they are someone who should know it all, which might lead to a belief that in not knowing it all, it could suggest to others that they shouldn't be in the role. In reality, managers don't know everything. No one does. So our advice to this type of manager would be to seek input from your team. Talking to people will help solve problems and make decisions about what needs to be done. This builds trust and also enables teams to be part of the process, which in turn increases their ownership of the work. This is so much more effective than trying to do it all yourself. Next up is the time traveller. This manager compares the past with the present and the future. The time traveller is often the manager who is moved internally, perhaps through promotion or organisational changes. They can be heard saying, "Now that I'm in charge," or they might be heard making undeliverable promises. Or they may even compare themselves more favourably with the previous manager saying, "I'm certainly not like Matt's." These are attempts to please people, but they're problematic. Making comparisons with others creates a comparison culture, plus it can be dangerous to make promises that you may not be able to fulfil. Again, this can come from a good place and a genuine desire to make things better. However, it may be perceived by others as appearing bitter or unhappy. Our advice is this: focus on the present. What does your team need from you now? You may have aspirations to make changes and improvements, so do your research and work on exploring options before you make any promises. That way you can make sure that yours and everyone else's time is more productive. Finally, the blabberer. Here you see a manager giving away secrets as if they were precious gifts. They will say things like, "I really shouldn't tell you this, but," or, "Can you keep a secret?" Or, "I was in a meeting earlier when this happened." Or even, "You'll never guess what I just found out." This is really damaging. This manager is betraying the trust placed in them, and in turn will make people question how much this manager can be trusted. The team may feel they're unable to confide in the manager or even raise concerns for fear they'll be passed on. Let's take a moment then to consider where this might come from. It could be that the manager is worried about a discovery and feels they need to share the burden. They could, of course, be a gossip, but more likely this will come from wanting to create rapport and friendship. It's also another type of people-pleasing, as this behaviour can be a reaction to loneliness. This doesn't mean, however, that breaking confidences is okay. So instead, we would recommend finding other outlets for their worries and excitement. Find a peer to discuss concerns with, somebody who's already in the know. And remember too that being a manager is a privilege and is one which comes with a lot of confidential information which needs to be treated as such. So let's reflect. Firstly, consider your emotions surrounding being a manager. How might these cause you to behave? And what strategies can you adopt to ensure you display positive behaviours? Why not take some time to decide on the sort of manager you'd like to be? Working out what your team needs from you and what the organisation needs is crucial. Getting this right is fundamental because gaining a positive management mindset becomes a source of huge personal satisfaction. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this useful. If you'd like to find out more about the various management skills and training options we can help you with, visit us online at www.managementcentre.co.uk or email yvette@managementcentre.co.uk, and I'll spell out Yvette for you just in case. It's YVETTE. Thanks again.